This year, Apple added the camera control button to the iPhone 16 lineup. At this point, it's missing two major features: a two-stage shutter and visual intelligence, which is basically Apple's Google Lens. I hope you can tell, but I've been using the iPhone 16 Pro since release date. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the camera control and how it's been. The good, the bad, it's mostly bad. To catch you up, camera control is a button on the bottom right side of your iPhone that lets you quickly launch the camera, access camera settings, and is also your shutter button. The placement of the camera control is awkward for me. Using it vertically, it's too low for my thumb, so I'm having to use the phone in a weird way or scrunch my thumb in an unnatural position just to interact with it. In landscape position, it's too far from the edge of the phone, so I'm needing to stretch my finger to reach it. Since this button is aimed at people who are interested in photography, it might have made more sense to just move it half an inch down so it's in a place that feels familiar to a camera shutter button. At some point, a software update will allow this button to become a two-stage shutter button like a normal camera. Half press to grab focus and then full press to take the picture. It'll be interesting to see how that functions, because right now a half press on camera control is what gets you into camera menus. Speaking of that menu, it's the main way that this button has been marketed. It looks cool, but using it is not as easy as I would have thought. You're doing finger gymnastics to use it, and it can be pretty finicky to navigate. I also find that it's a slower way to get to camera settings than using the on-screen controls. For example, if you want to change your lens, you would half press the camera control and swipe to change the lens. In that menu, you have no way to select the 24, 28, and 35mm main lens options. If you want to zoom anywhere between the standard options, you need to navigate to the zoom menu and then control zoom there. Since it's a small surface area, you can only zoom in so much with a single swipe, which is strangely limiting. And that seems to be a theme. You can do a lot of things with camera control, but you can do them faster and easier just using the on-screen controls. The only camera setting that's available exclusively through camera control is tone, which is probably the one thing you should change on this phone because it can give you back realistic shadows. Now let's talk about using it to launch the camera, which is a pretty mixed experience. There are times where it doesn't work, and there are times where it does where you don't want it to. If your screen is locked and you single click, it won't always open the camera. You have to wake your screen and give a bit of an extended press. If you try and pick up your phone and go straight for that single press, it takes too long for your screen to wake and misses your attempt to open the camera using camera control. And then other times you go to pick up your phone and you press the button and open the camera by mistake. So then you end up with a lot of accidental photos, like these ones. The best way to solve everything I've mentioned is just to go to the camera settings and change the camera launch to a double click. That way you'll avoid accidental launches and you'll have a more consistent experience when you're picking up or taking out your phone to open the camera. I like to imagine that this button came from a meeting where one person suggested a camera shutter button, and then things just totally escalated from there. To the person I'm imagining, you were right. Maybe this should have just been a two-stage shutter button. After all, the huge improvement to the camera this year is really in the pipeline, in how everything's processed. This change gives you the freedom to remove or change any photographic styles after you've taken the picture. Think of it as photo control. If you're really into photography and you want to use an iPhone, you're probably in a place where you're using ProRAW all the time and then just adding presets after the fact. So the question is, should you get into the iPhone 16 series for the camera control alone? Right now, that's a no, especially if your phone can already shoot ProRAW. I would say save your money and try investing in some affordable presets and see how you feel then. I hope this information was helpful, and I apologize to Apple for being such a negative Nancy. I still love you. Please don't put me on the naughty list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.